Get on the Raider Nation. It's your boy Dub Raider. Welcome to the first installment of the Raider Nation's Weekly Wire. What's the Weekly Wire, you ask? Well, myself and my friend here, Chris from Protect the Shield podcast. If you don't know, please follow him. Check his links down below. We got together and we're going to let everybody know, at least the ones that don't know, like myself, that are better known as couch coaches, just give you a general rundown of what's going on with the Las Vegas Raiders and the Raider Nation. We're going to be hitting on the more important topics or the more highlighted topics that are out in the news right now. And obviously, because myself, I'm not very, very knowledgeable when it comes to the X's and O's of football. I have my friend Chris here that's going to let us know. Chris, let everybody know your background in football, your background with the Raider Nation, and the shows that you got going.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. Definitely excited to go on this journey with you, man. You're definitely a guy I've always respected and had a chance to hang out with you in person. But so I'm Chris with Protect the Shield podcast. I've had this podcast about probably a little under 2 years, but diehard football fan. Played all the way up, played a little bit of college at a D2 level. Just a fan. I've probably been a fan for the Raiders, over 30 years. And I'm actually from Ohio, though, so it's kind of a unique situation. But I travel
Definitely
all over, the U.S. to follow the team.
Sure.
Very knowledgeable. I spend a lot of time and invest a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for the Raiders. So,
Yes, you do.
If you guys have not checked me out, you definitely check the links. I have some great interviews with former players and coaches. Had a great interview with Hugh Jackson. A few weeks ago, I had a very good interview with Miles Hayes. He's actually the director of player development for the Raiders.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. That was really good.
Yeah, so I just really working hard, and I absolutely love the Raider Nation, bleed silver and black, and I'm here, and I'm honored to spend this go on this journey with my boy Dub Raider, man.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. You are one of the my Raider brothers that creates content that I really enjoy watching, that I really like to watch, because I learn so much from you, from your point of view, and from everybody else that you work with. So when I thought about this, I'm like, you know what, Chris is my boy. Shout out to Cheeto Linus, shout out to the rest of the Raider fam. They have some fire content as well, but I for some reason gravitated towards you. I wanted to ask you and work with you ever since we had that interview on the Raider Nation Roll Call.
Appreciate it.
Well, let's get down to it. Our topic for this week is basically going to be coaching and our new general manager. As many of you know, and if you don't, we have a new coach, AP. We miss you. Thank you for your service, but we got to move on. We just hired a new head coach, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll has been in the league for some time now. Was also a college coach. Then we also hired Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator, and we retained Patrick Graham. Thankfully, I'm assuming that's a good thing, and that's why we have Chris here. Chris, let's start with Pete Carroll. Is he good?
Man.
Is he bad? What does this mean for the Raider organization and the Raider Nation?
Yeah, so with Pete Carroll, man, I think, when it was first announced, Pete was, people were, kind of on both ends, how they felt about Pete.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about Pete that is for sure and certain, the guy loves the game of football. He loves ball. The guy's passionate. The guy is he's a player's coach.
Yes.
You really cannot find no former players that played for him that does not like him. He has an infectious personality. But the thing about Pete Carroll that most people will, say as a, which is a negative is, his age.
Right.
Pete is 73 years old. Once the season starts, he'll be 74.
Right.
But when you watch Pete talk, when you watch Pete in those press conferences, that's not a 73, 74-year-old guy. I mean, the guy is full
Nah,
of
man, he's
life.
like 50 going on
That's what
73
I'm
or something.
saying.
73 going on 50.
That's what I'm saying. And I was
Yes, sir.
joking, and I was joking with my brothers. I'm like, you can say what you want about Pete being old or whatever, but don't leave Pete around your girlfriend, man. Pete still
Oh,
fly,
hell
man.
yeah.
He's still smooth. He might
He will
he might
handle
take
it.
your girl, man. So
He will handle it.
you know, I always joke about that, but no, me personally, you know, I'm a fan of bringing Pete in because more than anything else, he's shown that he can establish and build a culture, and that's what we need more than anything right now, Raider Nation. You know, we need somebody that because the first thing, our opportunity, this head coaching opportunity is not very desirable compared to a lot of other opportunities that were out there.
Oh,
You
most
know,
definitely.
yeah, you have the Bears, you had the Patriots, you had, you know, numerous other teams, but these teams had young quarterbacks. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have the young quarterback.
You
Our
don't.
roster, we really don't have a dynamic roster. We have, you know, a very talented young tight end and a couple other pieces, but you know, this isn't a destination where a lot of guys, you know, top name guys are going to want to raise their hand, especially
Right.
you're dealing in the AFC West with
Mm-hmm.
you know, Andy Reid, you're dealing with Sean Payton, you're dealing with Jim Harbaugh.
Jim
Um,
Harbaugh, right?
we got a coach that's not intimidated by those names. He beat a lot of them. He has experience, and you know, so I think it's something for Raider Nation to get excited about.
Yeah. You know, for me personally, I'm not, I don't know how to feel, you
Yeah,
know, because last year when the whole Harbaugh hype started happening, I drank the Kool-Aid,
yeah,
you know, and then all of a sudden we hire AP, and I was like, AP, really? You know, I understand what he did. You know, he was an interim. He did a lot of good things. He gelled the team, and you know that was great. But I wasn't truly sold on him
yeah.
until I saw his interview with, I believe it was with Max Crosby,
Oh yeah,
and that sold me. I was like, okay, he's got me. You know, but
yeah,
the thing is, I've I've known a lot of people like AP that are people, not necessarily people pleasers, but a people person that
yeah,
he knows how to talk to people. He knows how to energize people.
yeah.
But unfortunately, he didn't have the experience as a coach,
Right.
you know, and that really hurt us. And obviously, all the injuries didn't help either, you know, and it just it really hurt. This season really hurt. So
Yeah.
when I heard that Pete Carroll was coming in, I was like, okay, you know, Pete Carroll sounds good, but let's not get
What's it?
excited.
Yeah.
You know,
What's it mean?
especially since
Yeah.
the season just ended, what, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't want to get on that hype train just yet. You know, let's see after the combine draft and you know all that good stuff, the picking up of free agents, you know, and see what kind of team comes together. You know, we'll I guess I'll make a decision then on how excited I'm going to get. But for now, I'm kind of like I'm stuck in the middle.
No, that's understandable. And honestly, I mean, that's kind of how I'm like I'll say I'm excited for Pete, but overall, holistically, I'm going to have like a wait and see approach. Like I'm not going
Right.
to drink the Kool-Aid either. Because as Raider fans, you know, we drink the Kool-Aid every year.
Yep.
You know, last year I thought we were going to win 10, 11 games, you know, and it's just like it's very draining, you know,
It
when we
is.
keep going
It
through it.
is.
And honestly, this past year was probably one of the roughest years for me. Um, for a number of reasons. So, you know, I just, you know, I really just want to just take a step back. You know, I'm definitely gonna, you know, I always say, you know, optimism is earned. So
Right.
they're going to earn it from me.
Right. And see, and for me personally, I'm a pessimist. I always
Yeah.
prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
And
nothing wrong with
I've
that.
learned that's the way you protect yourself emotionally, especially
Exactly.
being a Raider
Exactly.
fan. You know,
Exactly.
so if your expectations aren't that high, you know, and they falter,
You
it's
can't
all
get
right.
let down. You can't let
Exactly.
you can't get let down too hard if they're not high. So for sure.
Exactly. All right. So for now, Pete Carroll, you know, he's a 50-50.
Okay.
Am I correct in assuming that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I put it this way. I am, I'm high. like if I had to grade it, I think we had to grade the other day. I actually put the grade at like an 8 for him.
8.
An 8 out of 10. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I wouldn't say 50-50 because I do like that we got him compared to what else was out there who would have wanted to work with us.
So you're more like 75-25.
Yeah, we can say that. We can say that.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Now let's move to our offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly. He comes with a pretty stout resume. I believe he came from Ohio State, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Ohio State. Please tell us a little bit about Chip Kelly, about his college history, and obviously, we know he was with the Eagles. He was with what was it, the 49ers as well, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot that I hear of him is that he's a great offensive coordinator, but wasn't a great head coach in the NFL level. So is all the hype and excitement legit for Chip Kelly?
Yeah, so I had to be completely honest. So when we first hired Chip, I was not too excited. For one, with me, I live in Ohio. I'm a Michigan fan, and so I got to see up close and personal when we played Ohio State this year, and we were the last team that beat Ohio State. And a lot of my Buckeye fans were furious. The reason that we beat them was because it was terrible play calling by Chip Kelly. Michigan has the best part of our defense is a defensive line interior, and he kept running the ball right into the interior. So we stopped them. They weren't explosive, and we beat them. And a lot of Ohio State fans wanted him gone and wanted Ryan Day gone. And that game kind of reminds me of last year when we beat the Chiefs on Christmas. Like that game, propelled the Chiefs to lose no more games and end up winning the Super Bowl. And that's kind of what happened to Ohio State. After we beat them, they just woke up and became a monster. In the he got that offense rolling at Ohio State in the playoffs. They put up big numbers. They were explosive. They were hard to stop. And that's kind of what Chip Kelly is. So when you're looking at his resume, he started off as like a head coach in college for Oregon. Had some very, very explosive offenses there. Like in the years that he was there, a lot of times they were ranked in the top 5. Very strong offenses, putting up a lot of points, very high speed. And that's one thing about him. He's good at setting the tempo of the offense, and that's one thing that Raiders I felt like we've never done that too well. Even if you go back to the Derek Carr days, I thought Derek always played good when it's under tempo and stuff like that.
Right.
He just never did it. But then you look at Chip, what he did in the NFL with the Philadelphia Eagles, and a lot of people will say. That Eagles team that he took over, they were so, powerful. They were so explosive. And a lot of people will say he kind of dismantled that team. He got rid of the Deshaun Jackson. He got rid of the Shady McCoy. Mike Vick ended up leaving and things like that. Because a lot of people say that great offensive mind. Even Mike Vick said they loved the offense in the beginning.
Right.
But he almost has that personality of a Josh McDaniels where he wears on the players. He has there's numerous examples of, just things that he did, within the locker room, the team, like making a guy cut off his dreads because he wanted him to look presentable.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, little stuff like that, man. So, and the thing is, but if you can separate the two with him and just have him focus on just the offensive side of the ball, I think it could work. But I just don't want another McDaniel situation where you got players kind of, going against them and things like that.
Right.
We have issues in the locker room. So, he's starting to grow on me because I did listen to his presser. He seems like he wants to focus on just the offense. That's what he loves to do. And I think if he can do that, if he can take a backseat to Pete Carroll, let Pete Carroll be the true leader of the team and just be that mad scientist in the offensive side of the ball, we might have something.
Okay. So from 1 to 10, what do you feel this acquisition? What number is this acquisition?
So I can't lie. When I first heard it,
Hmm.
I think I gave it like a 6.
Okay.
I will bump it up a little bit to a 7 because again, I think the talent is there, the mindset.
Yes.
Um, but it always worries me with someone that that has trouble, um, dealing with people sometimes, especially
Right.
grown men, because dealing with college players is one thing, but
Right.
being
They're
able to
kids.
connect, being able to connect with grown men that are millionaires, that's a
Hmm.
whole nother ball game.
Yeah. Yeah. For me personally, again, I heard the name. I know a little bit of his story, but still, it's kind of like I don't know. And
Yeah,
then having two alphas, two head coaches,
tough
that
stuff.
have had experience in college and in the NFL, and one being over another. I don't know how well that's going to gel. You know, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping that it's going to be great, and they are going to make magic next
Yeah,
season. At least get us to a winning a winning record.
yeah,
But again, I'm still just I'm not really feeling it yet.
yeah,
You know, again, it's too soon, but we'll see what happens.
for sure,
But
for
all right,
sure.
okay. Next, our defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham. I was very surprised to hear that Pete Carroll actually kept him. I know Patrick Graham had looked out at some other positions for, I believe, head coach, but
Yeah,
nothing really panned out. So I'm assuming he just decided to come back to the Raiders. And I think for us, that's going to be a great thing because there's going to be consistency in our, I guess, strongest part of the team right now, which is the defense. What are your thoughts on Patrick Graham?
yeah. I'm with you, man. I think that was a good hire, for multiple reasons. I think whenever you get continuity, that always helps. That's one thing that we don't have often, with the Raiders. Um, One thing about Patrick Graham, he has developed some young talent.
Yes, he has.
You look at Jacorian Bennett, who, had some struggles as a rookie, and then bounced back very strong his second year. We've seen Malcolm Kuntz get better, at the edge position. We've seen Trayvon Moore get better, back there at safety. And we've seen Spillane continue to improve as well. Adam Butler in the middle. So, there's examples of guys actually developing under his system. So,
Hmm.
and if you look at last year, we had so many injuries.
Yes.
I thought that defense was going to be special.
Oh,
But
definitely.
yeah, but 2 days before the first game, Malcolm Kuntz has a
Coots is
non-contact
out.
injury and he's out. So, and it's hard because we really were depending on him, this
Yes.
year. And then,
Wilkins.
yeah, Wilkins, yeah, same thing, So, I think getting that group back together, let them continue to develop. Even
Yes.
Isaiah Palamau, he started coming
Yeah.
along later in the year. So, um, I'm excited about letting Graham really get his pieces. Hopefully, they can stay healthy and
Yes.
really getting that defense going. And I think Max Crosby is going to be happier as well because he has some continuity.
Right. And I think kind of like seeing the positive and the negative. Um, with all those injuries, a lot of our second stringers and bench players had to step up,
Yeah,
and it gave them the opportunity to actually get in the game and start learning
exactly,
as they were playing. So now it made them a bit stronger with more experience. So I'm
exactly.
hoping that resonates for next season, and we have a more stout team with more depth.
Yeah,
And obviously with all the draft picks that we have, all the money that we have for free agency, hopefully we can get that team a lot stronger.
yeah.
So for Patrick Graham, what grade do you give him from 1 to 10?
I'm gonna give Patrick Graham a 8 as well.
8.
Yeah, just because I would give him higher, but I think just realistically 8, just because he needs to really put it together. He has to put it.
Yes.
There's a lot of variables and there's a lot of what ifs. I think it's time for him to put it together and really get those guys going, and I really think he can. I just think he was kind of dealt a bad hand with those injuries last year.
Yes, yes, he was. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think he's 8 out of 10. Reason being is because he's going to have that continuity. The players know him. The players like him. Let's just hope that the
Yeah,
injuries aren't as bad as they were last season.
yeah,
And obviously they also pick up more depth in the second and third stringers. That way, if somebody does go down, next man up is ready to go.
next man up, next man
All
up.
right. So now the next position is the general manager, John Spytek. This dude comes from the Buccaneers, played college ball with Tom Brady. So there's a little nepotism there, of course, but I've been hearing a lot that he's highly regarded in the NFL and everybody likes him and everybody respects him. Is he a good fit for us?
Yes, so I honestly am I'm excited for Spy Tech. Now I will say, um, I think our last GM drafted very well. I think that
Yes.
Telesco, from a drafting standpoint, you get 3 starters. I'll take 3 starters in any draft.
Oh yeah,
That,
man,
that's a good,
definitely.
especially a generational talent like you got in Brock
Yeah, Brock
Bowers,
Bowers.
and then even JPJ in the second round. That guy's going to be all pro in another year or so. So,
Oh yeah,
but
as long as he keeps healthy though.
yeah, as long as he keeps healthy for sure. But with Spy Tech, he's going to be more of an aggressive GM. So like he's
Yes.
going to be a guy that when you look at his, so we broke down kind of like his time in the Buccaneers, and again he wasn't the one calling the shots, but he was at least part of a team that they move up and down the draft board. They'll go make trades, so they'll go get some big name players, and Telesco, that's not who he is. Telesco's a guy that's very conservative.
Right.
He's not going to move up and down or anything like that. So
He seems
um,
like he plays it safe when it
he
comes to
does.
to the draft.
He does, and he's always been like that. A lot of Chargers fans will say that, but Spy Tech, I feel like he if he has a guy, and there's been some drafts where they've really hit again, and it wasn't like he was the only one calling the plays, like he or not
Right.
calling the plays, but making the decisions. But I really feel that with Spy Tech, we're going to have a guy that is, for one, he can identify talent, whether
Yes.
it's coming out of college or just other guys already in the NFL. So I think we'll see our money spent very well with free agents, whereas in the past, giving a whole bunch of money to washed guys,
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen under John.
So you think there's going to be more player development than free agency players brought in
Yeah,
with him?
I believe, yeah, like his philosophy, I believe, is to really draft guys and develop.
Mhm.
But he will, for the right guy, he'll go make the trade to kind of, if there's some other holes or like the icing on the cake type of thing.
Gotcha.
He was there to go get Brady and Gronk, and he's brought other guys over there, and at the Buccaneers, key players. And one thing that I like about him is I think the year after they won the Super Bowl, that very next year, I think they didn't lose any starters or they didn't lose any free agents or something.
Uh-huh.
That is like unheard of, because most teams, when they win the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
teams are picking and prodding from them. For
They
you to be
start.
able to retain all those guys,
Mhm.
that's great money management, and that's great. That's something very very special and unique. So if he could do something like that for the Raiders, being able to keep our guys and continue to develop them, we could have something special with them.
Oh, that's great. Now, what do you think about the three-headed monster, which is Tom Brady, Spytek, and Pete Carroll when it comes to the draft? Do you think they're going to be able to come together and make proper decisions for the team, or do you think it's going to be kind of like I'm Tom Brady, this is what's going to happen because Mark Davis has my back type situation?
Yeah, that's going to be tough. I think that those conversations had to already been had, because
Mm-hmm.
of course, even in the presser, he talked about, it's going to be a collaborative effort and all that. And I love hearing that. But,
Yeah.
as when all things are equal, someone has to make a decision. You
Right.
know, someone
And
has to
Mark ain't
be,
going to do it.
yeah, Mark's not going to do it. So, and I just don't know how much Tom's going to be in like that process. Like
Right.
hopefully he's going to say, hey, we hired you to do this job. I'm going to give you and empower you to be able to do the job and um, do it well. So, you know, that's to be seen. That's to be seen. 'Cause one thing about Tom, he wants to win. Um, I just hope he doesn't have his hands too far in.
Right.
Let the guys who spend 24/7 scouting and doing all, let them make the decision, and we just got to live with it.
So what number grade would you give him between 1 and 10?
Who? Which one?
Spy Tech.
Spytech. I'll get Spytech just a 7, just because I gotta. Again, it's more of a, I have some optimism there, but you still got to show and prove.
Right.
I can't
Right.
go by, the what ifs. Here's your
Right.
time. Here's your time to shine. I'm starting you off at a 7. That's a C grade basically.
Yeah,
You can work your way up to a B or A. Man, you gotta make the
that's
right
true.
move. So
That's
you
true.
know,
Yeah, for me, it's a 5. Reason being is because I knew nothing of him until we
yeah,
hired him. You
yeah,
know, I personally, I don't like nepotism, but at the end of the day, he has proven himself with the Bucks.
yeah,
So I'm gonna play it safe and stick with the 5. Just kind of like it's kind of like a prove it grade.
yeah,
Just kind of let's see what happens. I'm fearful of again the 3-headed monster, or what's going to happen. I'm hoping that they work well together, and they do draft based on what we need and to fill in those holes that we have both on offense and defense, and obviously adding more depth to our team, because that's what we definitely need, and being able to work together. That's, I think, the most important thing. Having those 3 gentlemen being able to work together for the betterment of our team. Because, man,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I'm sick and tired of losing. It's been 20 some odd years since I've seen the Raiders do anything good other than the 2 playoff appearances that they had
yeah,
in 23 years.
yeah, yeah,
That's crap, man. I'm tired of it.
yeah,
I love my Raiders. I will rep them until the day I die. But it gets old.
yeah.
It gets old really really fast. And I'm just hoping that with these changes and hopefully more to come, because I know today's Thursday, show's gonna drop Friday. There's already more coaches that have been hired. Who knows what's gonna happen. I'm just very hopeful, still pessimistic, but hoping for the best.
Yeah, and that, you know what, and you have every right to feel like that. Just I do too, man. It's like we tend to get our hopes up, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
at the point now. The Raiders, they have to prove it. I created this
Yeah,
brand, protect the shield. Because the shield always comes first.
that's
But
right.
the shield has to do their part too.
Of
The
course.
shield has let us down many times. So
Mm-hmm.
we have every right to be cautiously optimistic. So I don't blame
Right.
you.
Yeah. All right, Chris. Well, now that we gone through all those questions, let's talk about what you got going on. Because obviously, you are online. What is it? 2, 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, definitely, man. You can find me on Protect the Shield podcast on YouTube, of course. So definitely, make sure you go there, hit the subscribe button and the bell notifications, because I am, I'm pretty active on there. I have a show with my guys, 805 Raider and
Shout out 805.
Yeah, and the Severe Raider, which are
Severe.
my brothers. You know, we have a
Sure.
great show that we do on Sundays, and we also do it on Tuesdays. Throughout the year, or throughout the actual season, we broke down film. We break down plays, of each game. We give recaps. We really like to go into the details of the game. So, if you're a person that likes the details of the game, definitely, check me out. And then also, I have my show, my solo show. It's going to be on Thursdays, and it's again, it's on YouTube, and that's called Shield Talk Thursday. So I always have a lot of different guests. I know I had Dub on there, a couple times. It was a great show. So
A lot of fun.
definitely check me out, man. I'm definitely working hard, and right now I'm cooking up some new things, for the next year, and I'm very honored to be a part of this show with Dub Raider, man. So I'm always gonna give you guys nothing but authentic content, and that's what you're gonna get from me.
And that's again another reason why I asked you, Chris, is because you are true to yourself as a person, true as a Raider fan, and true to the sport. And that's what I want to convey to the Raider Nation. Because obviously, a lot of us are just you know Raider fans to, like, I guess the basic level. You
Yeah.
take it to a whole other level, and sometimes individuals like myself need to hear individuals like you to understand the game a lot better, to understand why decisions are made, by coaches, by owners. Because if you just look at it from the exterior and just see that, okay, they picked up this coach, but there was an opportunity to pick up this other coach, which is a big winner. Everybody follows him. We just want to go with the shiny new toy, not
Exactly.
with the one that's gonna actually show some dedication and depth into our team. And
Yep.
that's why I really appreciate you coming, joining me, and being able to do this, to explain to the not so knowledgeable Raider Nation what it's all about. So
For
Raider
sure.
Nation, please like, follow, subscribe. Chris Protect the Shield podcast, Dub Raider. I'm going to be continuing to do my Raider Nation roll call. That's interviewing Raider Nation super fans, content creators like Chris. Actually, if you guys want to check it out, I have the interview I did with Chris when he came down to LA. We were at the LA the Raider Charger game. I
Yep.
took him over to Compton. I took him to Hermosa Beach. We hung out for a minute. Go check it out. It's on my page on YouTube. Also, I'm hoping to restart the Stogie Nation,
Oh, nice.
Stogie, with MC Raider, hopefully soon, where we do reviews of cigars. And for the members of the Raider Nations that are interested in the hobby of cigar smoking and upkeep, we do reviews. We go to different cigar lounges and whatnot, and just have a good time and talk Raider football. But again, any closing comments, Chris?
No, man. Like I said, Raider Nation, my biggest thing is, let's make sure we just continue to be loyal to this team. I know all of us are. It's going to continue to be a roller coaster, but we're built for it. If no one else is built for it, we're built for it. But again, definitely, continue supporting all your Raider content creators, man. I mean, just something as simple as you're hitting the like button, hitting the share button. It's absolutely free, but it means
Yes.
so much to us that work hard to try to edit this stuff and take time studying all the data and stuff like that. So just give us the chance, and and leave comments whether you like it. If you don't, we love all the feedback. But again,
Yes.
Dub, thank
Yes.
you so much, man, for partnering with me on this, and I'm excited for the journey.
Of course, Chris. Again, thank you very much. Again, Raider Nation, everything we do, Chris, myself, and all our other Raider brothers and sisters that create content, we do it for the nation, by the nation.
Yep.
Peace.